Climate change and ecological breakdown is happening much faster, so the quicker that we can align our efforts to support frontline communities, co-design and implement solutions that they want to and are able to find comfortable to live with, the better. So we will have to act with much more haste, and I think that in some cases, maybe there may be a more dramatic set of solutions that have not been considered so far by different communities. So we have to have all options on the table. In the case of the Marshall Islands that I've worked with, obviously community resilience is very important, building local seawalls with the benefit of the community. But in the end, they're realizing that, the king tides that are coming much more frequently and that can't be held back with the traditional technologies, actually, with the traditional building materials that were on hand. And so they may have to actually raise buildings off the ground, use hydroponic sort of systems. And maybe that's not been contemplated, for those small islands, but they're looking at some of those more radical building suggestions to really make their infrastructure more resilient and not to feel that they have to move and abandon. That's an option that they themselves will decide and what they feel comfortable with. Well, the development community has an absolutely key role. You have lots of relationships, lots of experience of how to work in country and with respect of national priorities, how to have deep participation from the people whose lives are being impacted and that you want to improve. But sometimes the reality is a lot of requirements, a lot of things end up in technical assistance projects that take too long or deliver very piecemeal or incremental approaches that are not tied in together. And fundamentally, aid isn't going to solve the problem. So focusing just around aid is not going to stem the tide sufficiently unless we also now take action and demand far greater action. And that's a difficult lift because most of this community is happier to work in a more traditional sort of setting, more neutral, and see their role not as political, as more technical and assistance and advisory. But I'm suggesting that everyone now speak up, whether you're a development professional, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're an architect, whether you're a nurse, any kind of profession that you are or none, must speak up and demand systemic change all across the world, because our systems are so out of kilter with respecting nature. And we have got the tools and the solutions to actually fix things, so it's really just the political will that's missing. We need leadership from everyone, every country, every development actor, every bank, every individual, every profession, every sector from across the globe to realise what Paris was about. And that means ambitious reduction of greenhouse gases, ambitious delivery, very finely tuned and quickly to communities to deal with adaptation and also loss and damage, because inevitably that is happening.